Why is no one there? When I returned from shopping, my grandson was left alone. I rushed to call Anna, but the phone was disconnected. Then I checked the note on the dining table. A lot has happened in the 10 years since then. This man standing in front of me now, apparently nothing has changed in 10 years. I heard, "You're still single and lonely." What? You don't know? I said to my mocking ex-husband as I matter-of-factly. I explained to him about the past 10 years. My husband's face turned pale as he listened to my story. My name is Emily, a 48-year-old housewife. I have been married to my husband Jack for 24 years. We were originally classmates in college. We started dating after graduation. After we both started working, we were originally good friends. We often went out for drinks after work. At that time, I asked him about his problem at work. I would talk to him about various problems. I was having difficulties at work. He was a good listener, and when he listened to me, I found that my worries mysteriously disappeared. Then we naturally grew closer. We started dating. And for a while, we enjoyed our life as lovers. But one thing led to a change in our situation. It was about a year and a half after my husband and I started dating. I went to the hospital because I was not feeling well. There, the doctor gave me a surprising statement. "You are 3 months pregnant." What? I was pregnant. I immediately reported to him. "What? Pregnant? Are you not happy?" "I've only been working for 2 years. I didn't want to bother him." I said so. Worst case scenario, I would raise him on my own. I was prepared for that. Then he said to me, "What are you talking about? Of course I'm happy." "What?" "We're going to have a baby. What could be more exciting than that?" "Jack, but you're still too young to get married." "You know, I've always wanted to marry you someday." "What?" "It just happened earlier. The order was reversed though. I'm going to propose right here, right now. Emily, will you marry me?" "Yes, please." I was so happy to have his child. I was sure that with him, I would be able to build a warm family. I was sure of that. Then he and I went to greet each other's parents. I thought they might give me a hard time. Surprisingly, both parents were kind. "Oh, so you already have a little life in you." "That's so exciting. I can't believe you're getting married and having a baby in the same year." "I'm so glad we're going to have grandchildren." Both parents seem very happy to have a grandchild. They are already working. They don't seem too concerned about a big wedding. I was relieved to hear that. He and I were able to get married without any rancor. We had a wedding and went on our honeymoon right away. We started our honeymoon. I went on maternity leave and gave birth to a baby. A healthy baby boy was born. My husband named him Steve. My son grew up quickly. He grew up to be a very good boy. My husband and I got along well with him. We had a good relationship with my husband and my son. As our son grew up, my relationship with my husband and I deteriorated little by little. Or perhaps it would be more accurate to say our relationship cooled off. I had a baby. I returned to work after taking maternity leave. After that, I was responsible for the housework and childcare. My husband has never done any housework since we got married. He said he would not cook because he was not good at it. And cleaning seems like he would break things. He told me he has never done it. Because he has always lived at home, I managed to get my husband to help me. I tried to get him to help me and learn to do the housework, but to no avail. He stubbornly refused and would not do it. I thought it would be faster and less tiring if I did everything myself. I stopped expecting him to do everything for me. My mother and mother-in-law were supportive during my pregnancy, but after my son was born and grew up, that was not the case. I had to work very hard every day. I worked hard every day doing my best at work, housework, and childcare. Perhaps it was because he had seen me to do so. My son took the initiative to help me with the housework. He went on to high school and college. Both of them were public schools. I was able to save money on tuition fees. After graduating from college, my son got a job at a general company. It is a well-known company in the area with good benefits. My son took the opportunity of getting a job, starting to live by himself. I thought this was the end of my role as a parent. My son has been working hard since then. His bosses and seniors expect a lot of him. I hope that my son will be independent. I was relieved to know my son was doing his best as a member of society. But then, one day, something surprised me and my husband had happened. It was that our son brought his fiancée. I want you to meet someone. He contacted me that way. He brought her to us later on, a woman named Anna, whom my son had promised to marry. I'm thinking of marrying her. Our son said so. We were very surprised. He is only 24 years old. That is the age my husband and I got married. I guess it is quite early in this day and age. Moreover, Anna was very beautiful and pretty. I didn't expect such a beautiful woman to be his wife. I thought, how could he do that? Where did you two meet? We were actually classmates in college. What? I was surprised. It was the same as when I met my husband. My husband was also surprised with his eyes wide open. And after that, my son said something even more surprising. We started dating after we graduated from college. Well, she got pregnant. What? Pregnant? I let out a loud cry. Then I looked at my husband. I knew you were against it. It's not a good idea in the eyes of the public. My son seemed to think I was angry. Oh, no! Actually, me and your father got pregnant too when we got married. What? Really? Yeah, and we were 24 years old, just like you. That's totally the same. Whoa, I didn't know that was possible. Yeah, that's why your dad was so surprised. So, you're not against it, right? Of course. Have a happy marriage. Lucky me. When my son and Anna heard what we had to say, and relieved to hear that we were the same, my husband and I were amazed. Our son was in the exact same situation. It was funny that we ended up getting married. We laughed and thought they really are father and son. I think we enjoyed talking as a couple for the first time in a long time. Oh, that day, my son and I had a lot of fun talking about Anna. After that, my son and Anna, they got married safely. They got permission from the other couple's parents. The mood was not so bad, and the conversation went on peacefully. Not only did the son become independent, he also got married. I was deeply moved. I wonder if this is how my parents felt when I reported my marriage and pregnancy. Then my son and his wife started their new married life. I went to the son and daughter-in-law's house regularly to support his wife during her pregnancy.
Thank you, Emily. You have done so much for us. I really appreciate it.
It's okay. When I was pregnant too, my mother-in-law helped me. I and daughter-in-law had a very good relationship. And in the midst of all this, my daughter-in-law and my son made this proposal to us. If it's okay with mom, why don't you live with us? I'm too busy with my work. I often come home late. I would feel safer if my mom and dad live with us. Anna also adores you. My husband and I were surprised when they suggested it. We had no reason to say no. We had an extra room. We decided to move in with our son and his wife. Living together with my son and his wife was a lot of fun. We had a lot of family time together at dinner time. We really had a lot of laughs. My husband was also there to support his wife. He helped me a lot and was really helpful. Then, a few months later, his wife finally gave birth to a baby. He is a cute little boy. My son and his wife named him Johnny. My grandson Johnny was really cute. His face was rather similar to my daughter-in-law's, so he would be quite beautiful in the future. After the birth, we continued to live together. I supported his wife in raising her children. My daughter-in-law is always grateful to me and is a really good girl. She seems to get along well with my son. I can't believe how beautiful she is and how good her personality is. I thought it was rare. Johnny cries a lot. It was not easy to raise a child. My daughter-in-law always seemed to have a hard time because she didn't get enough sleep. I tried to get her to rest during the daytime as much as possible. I was the main person in charge of housework and childcare. My son seems to be very busy at work. He often came home just before the last train. I think it would have been very hard for his wife to be alone. No wonder my son asked me and my husband for support. Then the hectic days went on and on. A year passed in the blink of an eye. Johnny grew up so fast. We watched him with smiles on our faces. But then something unexpected happened. Why is no one here? When I returned home from shopping, my grandson was left alone. I looked all over the house, but no one was there. The only sound was the sound of my grandson's crying. How could it leave a baby who is only 1 year old? I rushed to call my Anna, but the phone was disconnected. Why can't I get through? I'm at work and I'm sorry. I explained the situation to my son in the message. I knew he wouldn't be able to read it right away. I decided to contact my husband. At that time, I suddenly saw a piece of paper on the dining table. It seemed to be a note of some kind. Then I looked at the note on the table and was absolutely stunned. What is this? I was shocked. Then I became even more angry. If this is true, it is unforgivable. I immediately called my son. What's wrong, Mom? I'm sorry for calling so suddenly. Actually, When I told my son about the note, my son immediately left early and he came home. How did this happen? I'm sorry, I didn't realize it at all. The reason I was always so nice to him was because he had ulterior motives. The contents of the note were that his wife got together with my husband and they had left. Don't let me and my son fight out. They were having an affair. My son and I immediately contacted his wife and my husband, but they never got through. In the end, They refused to receive our calls, and I couldn't contact them anymore. We went to my husband's workplace, but his boss, who knew him, told me he had resigned. My son picked and contacted his college classmates, contacted her in-laws, but he could not seem to get in touch with the wife. In other words, my husband and my son's wife eloped. His wife and I could not understand what was going on. My head couldn't catch up with my understanding of the situation. We were so angry that we had been betrayed. My emotions were all mixed up. My son and I were at our wits' end. But then my grandson Johnny cried out with all his might, "Mom, I'm standing still. I don't have time for this. Johnny's the only one I have to raise properly." I felt the same way when I saw my son say that with power in his eyes. Yes, I also have to protect my grandchildren. My son and I cooperated with each other in raising our grandchildren. It was a lot of hard work, but the happiness of seeing my grandchild grow up was far greater. 10 years have passed since then. I'm now 58 years old. I will soon reach the age of 60. My grandson has already turned 10 years old. He is always full of energy. Just recently, he and my son started living together. They also met a wonderful woman and got married again. In the midst of all this, I encountered the person I least wanted to meet.
"Oh, could it be you? Emily, aren't you?"
I turned my head in the direction where the voice came from. To my surprise, there he was, the eloping husband.
"You're just as ugly and shabby as they say."
"What in the world do you want?"
Well. It's been a while since we've seen each other. Let's make small talk."
"No. You approached me for a purpose anyway, didn't you?" I too have experienced many changes. 10 years have passed since then. A lot has happened, so I'm not weak enough to let my husband take the pace.
Huh? What kind of a stupid potato woman are you? Acting like you can do it?
This man standing in front of me right now, it seems that nothing has changed in the past 10 years. He is a real pain in the ass. That's what I thought. My ex-husband says something like that.
"I heard you're still single and lonely."
Huh?
"Well, it can't be helped. I'll remarry you again."
Huh? What are you talking about?
Oh, come on. Can you be so tough? You're the one who doesn't make any money, who doesn't have a partner. You'll be happy again.
Apparently, my ex-husband has misunderstood something. Huh? You don't know?
Huh? What?
To my ex-husband who mocked me, I nonchalantly explained to him about the past 10 years. His face turned pale as he listened to my story.
"Oh, you're living on stocks as an investor?"
Yes. After my husband eloped, I started to invest in stocks while using our savings. To earn money while raising a family, I was trying to figure out how to make money while raising a family. I came to the conclusion that I should actually trade stocks while studying. At first, it was difficult to make a profit. I guess I got the hang of it. I gradually became able to make a profit, and when I came to realize it, I was able to own a considerable amount of assets. I have grown to the point where I am now the manager of several companies.
Oh no, you...
It's fine to make fun of me. The reality seems to be a world of difference between heaven and earth. When I say that, my ex-husband changed his attitude with a flip of the palm.
"It was my fault. Let's start over again. I thought you were the only one for me.
He said random things. My ex-husband tried to take advantage of me, but I'm not stupid. It's disgusting, so don't do it. I know you don't have feelings for me. Why don't you stay with the woman you stole from our son? I'd be fine with that. When I say that, my ex-husband spoke awkwardly.
We've already had our breakup. He even remarried, but in the end, the age difference, love couldn't cover the difference in age. As I got older, she lost all interest in me, so we ended up having an affair. I've already broken up with her, so it's not a problem.
No. It's a big problem. In the first place, I'm remarried.
What?
You can't see this ring?
Oh no, that's the one I thought it was the one I gave you.
No, it's not. This one is similar, but my husband bought it for me. He's a company owner, not like the one you bought me. The prices are off the charts. Even as I was telling him, my ex-husband's face remains blue. The woman he thought he had abandoned, she was more successful than he was. I guess he's in shock, but it doesn't matter anymore. If you talk to me anymore, I'll call the police.
Police? I can't have that. I can't survive if I lose my job.
Then please be quiet. Don't ever show your face in front of me again, you poor man. When I say that, my ex-husband ran away. He left. He really is a helpless person. Then my son and his family and I put a restraining order on my ex-husband so that he would never come near us again. Someone told me that my ex-husband eloped and quit his job. After that, he had a hard time finding another one. And yet, as Anna became more and more extravagant, life became difficult at once. Then Anna said,
I can't live with a man like an old man who has no money.
She abandoned my ex-husband, so he continued to be lonely, and finally he came to me. Incidentally, someone told me that Anna was caught in the scam. She is in a lot of debt. I was relieved to hear that both my ex-husband and ex-wife were going through a hard time, because if they weren't, otherwise, my son is miserable. Well, my ex-husband and my son's ex-wife self-destructed on their own. We didn't do anything to them. Still, I think it's a very good situation where my fall down and the situation in which we are succeeding is very good. I would like to continue to live happily with my husband and son's family. I would like to spend happy days with my husband and my son and his family.